Hi guys, Dr. Lena Rodriguez coming to you from tomorrow. Yes, it's a special skill I have. Now, big breaths with what's going on. Before I kick off into some of the other things, which are today, I want to look what's happening with the schools as they reopen. That's really important, obviously, right? But a lot of you have asked about Andrew Cuomo. What can you say about these guys? You know, they just don't get it. Mind you, I don't think Cuomo is like an apex predator like Weinstein, you know, breaking careers and not giving women work if they don't sleep with him and all of that. He's not at that level. He's the type of guy, we all know them, right? He'd ring up his brother, Chris Cuomo. You can just hear the conversation, can't you? Why are they doing this to me, Chris? I love women. That's why I do this. I love women, right? Women like to be flattered. I know how women think. You know, I'm a touchy-feely guy. I'm Italian. It's all okay. And I'm sure Chris Cuomo is going, I've been telling you for 10 years to cut this stuff out, you know, doesn't get it. And now, of course, he's getting the Rottweiler attorneys onto the women. I'm just going to shut my wardrobe door because I'm really sick of looking at that yellow sleeve. Forgive me, viewers. Yeah. Yes, you are in my boudoir because our whole house is occupied. We're all in lockdown again. So people are taking up all sorts of strange hobbies and activities to stay sane. And there's barely a square foot of space left in the house. So here I am, and here you are in my boudoir. Okay, so rocketing along, I have to have a quick look at Cuomo. You know, his career, very patchy. Tell us about Andrew Cuomo. What do we need to know? Cuomo's story. All right. Now, oh, that was when he was a little tyke. Interesting. All right. Let's see. I'm not going to pull the screen up and down because, frankly, I can't reach. You know, so you'll have to trust me that I'm shuffling and pulling these cards out. So what's going on for Andrew Cuomo? Like so many of these guys, this is a page. He's still a boy in his head. Some of these guys, they grow up, they grow old, they get huge jobs. Doesn't matter. He's a child in the head. Underneath this Four of Pentacles, holding on to money, but also holding on to things you value. And I think in his warped little mini macho world, it's hanging on to his right to do this because we must remember he loves women. Okay, so he's holding on now, very much holding on. It's becoming a bit of a burden, right? And it's also food for the Republicans. He's becoming a bit of a burden, not only for the position, but wider for the Dems because he has such a high profile. So he's on borrowed time. We haven't heard the last of this or even a little bit of it. There is much more to come. This is the Moon card. And there are, I think, many, many, many more women who may come forward, but who have experienced this. Look, I don't like to rate sexual assault because it's offensive, but for those of us who grew up or came of age 40 years ago, and some of the horrendous things that used to happen in the workplace, these things are still being swept under the carpet, still today being swept under the carpet. He's going to come out fighting though, Knight of Swords. He's starting to morph into Giuliani. Look at this. So he's going to fight and fight and fight. I'll just quickly ask, will he go before the next election or not? I'll just see. He's fighting and he's going to fight dirty. Going to fight real dirty. But that's going to make him look worse. Oh, another knight. Oh, and then the 10 of Cups. The circus will continue. Look, he's got 2 knights. That's him throwing daggers, you know, via his attorneys at the actual women. The Knight of Wands plodding away, trying to keep the tent up. I don't think he'll go before he's due for election. 10 of Cups completing a cycle. I think he'll see out his cycle and then won't be voted in again. Never mind. I may be wrong. And as I say, I'm thrilled to be wrong sometimes. Okay. Now, schools. I just want to say a little bit more too about the police union and their shocking lack of support for the Capitol Hill officers. It's part of a bigger problem, as I've said before, but the fact they're not supporting these guys, and sadly, we are seeing more people take their lives because of this. It's a bridge too far for a lot of these serving officers to be attacked, be abused, be disbelieved, be threatened, and then abandoned. So that's not a good trajectory. So the police union itself, still called a brotherhood, some things don't change in a hurry, do they? Let's have a quick look at the brotherhood. I want an update. I don't know why there isn't more action on this. You know, people know what they're not doing. And am I missing something, viewers? Let me know. Is there a movement there to really try and see what's happening at the top levels of the police union? What's happening with the police union? I threw that out in case you were suspicious. It's just the protection for the cards. It's not an actual tarot card. Well, I don't like these cards particularly. This is how they've always done it. 8 of Wands, but now all these things are whooshing towards them. I'm pleased something is, and I can't wait to hear what. They're tying themselves in knots, literally. Then their excuse is, oh, we're the good guys. You know, you've just got to trust us. We look after our own. Well, no, not if you're a whistleblower and not if you're a serving officer in Capitol Hill. No, you're not. Ace of Cups. There is some emotion around this issue, and I think that could grow, and nothing's going to change until that emotion starts to turn. What we've noticed in Australia, I was just seeing that the crisis lines and things, the emergency lines, if you're feeling, you know, that you're really vulnerable and on edge and whatever, your hotlines. And they said people have been, traditionally people ring up when they're distressed and when they're depressed. Now people are ringing up angry. In Australia's case, because we can't seem to get hold of vaccines. We're only 26 million people. We only need 20 million vaccines. You guys are probably going to throw those out soon. At least I hope they go to Central America or somewhere useful. But it's not your fault, it's our fault. We've just dropped the ball, or Scotty from marketing has dropped the ball. So now I'm going to look at schools. So I'm going to move away from these cards and go to my regular cards. Florida and Texas, Texas and Florida keep turning up all the time. And I think that's because both are in a purpley stage. They're in a state of transition, I think. So what was happening in Texas is Republicans have made it impossible for parents to find out if there's infections in their children's school. Apparently there's another new repressive, stupid, pointless, dangerous law that's been passed in the middle of the night saying parents won't get to hear. And in Florida, under DeSantis, the anti-mask mandate extends to schools to the extent if they try and enforce a mask mandate, they'll pull the plug on their funding of schools. I mean, you guys have forgotten what a government is. You know, like, none of these people are governing. They're just living in their own little petri dishes. It's staggering. So I'm going to have a look at Florida yet again, because the teachers union there are saying they're running out of workers. They've got so many workers, a third, I think, have either been hospitalized for COVID or have returned positive tests and have to isolate. And he's saying, on top of that, I'm going to pull your money. So let's look at schools. I'm going to look at schools in Florida and then schools more generally, which is sort of tricky to do because every state's different, but Florida will give us an idea of the red state mentality, and then we'll look at the rest. So schools. Okay. Oh my word. Because I got distracted with the question and went schools, I think what's happened is this spread is about schools generally. This is huge. 5 cards and 3 are major arcana. So I'll come back and do Florida specifically. These are not Florida cards. So overall, here we have the Empress, or the mother of the nation. Ironically, I think this is symbolically Biden, even though it's a female card, and the Earth Mother, he is a water sign, the Scorpio. I think this is him in his incarnation of someone at the top who is trying to look after children. That'd set him apart, wouldn't it? But this is, I think, more than that. It's mothers. These are the mothers. So although there'll be these mad, bad, and ugly mums running around, you know, the Karens of this world who have had children, this is sensible American mothers here in the center. They've actually had a look at what's going on internationally and further afield. They're putting the story, that's why I think this is national, not Florida, right? Okay, they've looked at a bigger picture. They have actually taken the time and the trouble to actually look at this is a global pandemic. Global. That would be the whole world. Duh. They're calling for balance in thinking about this instead of this knee jolt reaction to everything that's suggested, a much more balanced approach with the guardian angel. I think they're going to prevail. It's going to be sensible, whether that's closing some schools, keeping some open, or mask mandates, or bringing on stream the vaccination of children, or all of the above. I don't think this reading is talking about from August to the end of the year. I think it's a big picture reading. You don't get these big cards if it's not a big picture reading. And on top, the Magician. I think they'll win in the end. But I just want to clarify that. Tarot does that sometimes. You ask a question and it gives you another part of the story. Long term, by which I mean probably next year, sensible people will prevail. But it's not going to help this immediate semester, I don't think. Okay, let's have a look at Florida's schools. And this particularly vicious, imbecilic, unsupportable ruling. Crazy. Okay, what's happening here? What's happening here with Florida, DeSantis and schools? Let's tune in. Florida, DeSantis and schools. Florida, DeSantis and schools. Oh, he's more worried than he's letting on. Doesn't that simply make him more hypocritical? This is interesting. Not that I think he's going to act in his higher capacity. Okay. Why I think he's more worried than he appears is this card, waking at night with anxiety, and the Three of Swords. You don't want these two cards coming up if you're expecting to wake up in the morning with a song on your lips, are you? Really? With these two? No. Okay. I think this represents the actual figures are becoming overwhelming, and you can't do anything against hardcore stupid, but there's a lot of people in the middle who have made not the smartest decisions up to now, but now we're talking kids, they are starting to get worried, and they are seeing these huge numbers of children, and it's breaking their hearts. So I think this is DeSantis and the collective. It's starting to go, well, you think that'd make a difference, wouldn't you? But you'd be wrong. Because in the past, the Sunshine State, it's weird because I come from Queensland, which is called the Sunshine State. It was also called the Texas of Australia. So that I think that might be why I bond with these two states particularly. This is the past. This is when everything was all right, Rick. This is when you were making a mozza. You didn't have to do anything. You just sort of had someone to even organise your own parties. Let's leave it at that. The past, when things were good. Now, not so good. So because he's worried how he's going to keep covering it up. Not that he shouldn't cover it up. Not that he shouldn't act differently. No, 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 no. What's keeping him awake is, how do I cover it up? Is that not shocking? And at the end of the day, he's a mercenary. So I think we're going to have to wait for these guys to be voted out, along with Ted, Cancun, Cruz, and all of them. Oh, yeah. Oh, my word. Okay. Now, I wanted to finish with Mary Simon. She's the first Inuit Governor General of Canada. I hope I've got all that information right. She's also Inuk, and it's symbolically huge. So I want to have a quick look at her cards. Go Mary Simon. Go Mary Simon. Go Canada. Dear Canadian viewers, you know how much I love you. Okay, here we go. Mary Simon. Oh. All right, look, it's it's not going to be easy, or perhaps it's saying it wasn't easy for her to get to where she is. That's sort of a given, because for any woman in power, it's not easy. Not only do you have to worry about the hand up your skirt in the elevator, it's every other thing that blocks, advancement, including the glass ceiling. So she's done well. And this is why this is her with her sword raised as the Page of Swords. Okay. Now, she has the Hermit, which is being quite withdrawn. Like the Page of Swords is really out there and quotable quotes and saying it, but she has a very, very private side. And that private side is covering the loss that she feels. There's been a significant loss in her life. I don't know if any Canadian viewers can fill me in on this, but something deep and distressing that means the real Mary Simon is very much more private. She's got 3 cards of that. This is also holding on to what you value. She holds that very close to her chest, but I think that also motivates her. I think she has the goods, she has the intellect, and she has the essential nature of calmness and balance, and wants to represent all people, which would certainly set her apart from others we have known in the last 4 years. So I see it as very positive for her, but almost at a price, at a personal price. She's not a spotlight seeker. She actually struggles quite a bit, but her guardian angels are very strong. So we'll see how she goes in the next few years, and I wish her all the best. So, beloved, intrepid viewers, I hope you enjoyed this little tour, and I'll see you again on the other side. Take care and keep those comments happening. Thank you. Comment, comment, comment away. I learned so much. Thank you. Bye.